The way we consume and share news today is largely rooted in social media outlets, a reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online from the hottest issues to trends. For our daily social media minute, we're joined by Erica in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you back in the studio.
Yes.
I love company.
I bet.
Gets lonely in the studio.
Yeah.
Zoom's fine, but this is better.
It's different, for sure. For me too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Right? Seeing people that you actually like?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get started, Erica. On this lonely island, a 75-year-old pharmacist is looking after 5,000 island residents. Last man standing, and he intends to stay there.
Yeah, so to talk about this pharmacist, he retired back in 2015, almost 10 years ago.
Right.
And at the time, he passed on his pharmacy business to his children. But then fast forward to 8 years later, that's last year, he learned about this Korea's westernmost island, Pyeongdo, which is home to around 5,000 residents. Now, that's not the interesting detail. The interesting detail that caught his attention is that this island of 5,000 residents didn't have a pharmacy.
At all.
At all. And when he heard that, he felt compelled to return to his profession. This is 8 years after he retired.
So he's not necessarily from the island.
No, he's not.
He moved there.
He moved there.
To set up the only pharmacy on the island.
That's right. So Mr. Che, his name is Mr. Che Young-dok, now operates the island's only drugstore pharmacy called Jongno Yakguk.
Far away from the actual
Very
Jongno.
far away. Jongno is right here in Seoul. Now, at 75 years old, he finds, he says he finds a sense of fulfillment that he says he has never felt before. He says he has found his true calling.
Something he had been doing for decades already.
You know, he didn't start the business for any financial gain. So something definitely changed within him. And he says he simply wants to help the people of Pyeongdo Island. And he plans to run the pharmacy for as long as his health allows.
Okay, so many red flags are raised because 5,000 residents, sure, it might be small, but it's still a significant amount of people residing in a single island. And you got to question, where was the pharmacy all this time and what's the story?
Yeah, so the island did have a pharmacy.
Okay.
The last pharmacy actually closed 2 years ago in April of 2022.
Pretty significant vacuum.
Yes, that's right. And that pharmacy originally opened in 2004, 20 years ago. And then it went through several changes in ownership over the years before it closed permanently without a buyer. Now, without a functioning pharmacy on the island, residents with, just minor ailments had to travel to a large hospital on the island or a national public health center for just simple over-the-counter medications.
Right.
It was a really time-consuming process. It was cumbersome, compared to the convenience of a local pharmacy.
Sure.
This man, Mr. Che, is now providing both medication and even personal advice, especially to the elderly residents.
Just sheer inconvenience if you think about it. I mean, we're so spoiled in the capital city of Seoul.
There are pharmacies everywhere.
No, really, everywhere.
Yeah,
take maybe 100 steps and you'll come across 2 or 3.
I work in Daeangno.
You live.
Yeah, I work in Daeangno, and across from where our school is, we have Seoul National University Hospital. So, just there are pharmacies, 10 pharmacies just
around the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
For prescription drugs.
Yeah.
So not every neighborhood across Korea is this way, and certainly not this island. So when did Mr. Chae Young-duk decide to open this pharmacy? Because there was a vacuum, like you said, maybe 2 years.
Yes, that's right. So he opened Jongno Pharmacy on the island in April of 2023. The business has since been thriving. He gets up to 30 visitors every day, excluding Sunday afternoons. And given the island's aging population, most visitors come with neuralgia and gastrointestinal issues. Now, even Mr. Che, he's a pharmacist, but even he isn't immune to age-related health risks.
He was a retired pharmacist.
Yeah. And he suffered from acute pneumonia earlier this year in March after for a really cold island winter without adequate heating in the pharmacy. So he had to close the store for a month to receive surgery. And then he reopened 2 months later in May. He has since hired an employee for such emergency situations.
All right.
And so Incheon's Ongjin-gu County apparently oversees 100 islands, including Baeknyeondo Island. And the county enacted a new bylaw back in late 2022 to improve support for pharmaceutical professionals on its islands. To clarify, 75 out of the 100 islands the county oversees are uninhabited.
Okay.
Not all of 100 islands are inhabited.
Occupied with people.
Exactly. So under this new bylaw, the government covers 80% of the monthly rent for both local pharmacies and pharmacists' residences. And also starting in November of this year, logistics fees for transporting drug supplies from the mainland to the county's island pharmacies are also going to be fully covered by the government.
All right. So there's enough incentive there to ensure that people who move there, for example, like Mr. Choi, might have a more sustainable pharmacy. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So at least the residents there are happy.
Yes, for sure.
I can't imagine a life without pharmacies.
I can't either.
I need my drugs, especially when it comes to headaches, stomach problems.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it. On to our second story today. What an unfortunate story surrounding Adele's concert. So pop singer Adele apparently had to quietly delete a rising sun flag image after Korean fans had to protest. Who's not screening these images?
Anyways, so she was recently in Germany for her concert, and she faced a bunch of criticism from her Korean fans after she used an image of Japan's rising sun flag during the concert. And so in response to this public backlash, Adele has removed the image from the concert footage. There was no formal apology, which is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way.
All right. So Adele held a solo concert in Munich, Germany on August 2nd. During the performance, the team displayed a collage on a large outdoor screen that includes several images of the rising sun flag. It's seen moving, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But it's undeniably the rising sun flag.
And as we all know, the flag, the rising sun flag, is a symbol that is associated with Japan's military aggression during World War II. Now, Professor Seo Kyung-dok at Seongshin Women's University, who's been leading this global campaign against the use of this flag, immediately sent a protest email to Adele's team. Many others, including her fans, flooded her social media platforms with critical comments. Now, according to Professor Seo, some concert goers reported that the video that was originally shown, was edited.
Okay.
The flag was removed from the video, and the newly edited video was shown at subsequent concerts.
Okay.
But there is that general disappointment over the fact that Adele failed to offer a public apology or acknowledge her mistake.
Okay. So, of course, there's a whole team, a village that brings a concert together. A lot of images are outsourced too. But the fact that people come to see you and all of this represents you, I think there are just higher expectations.
It's the same for radio broadcasts too. There are lots of people involved in the preparation of the daily segments and the entire show.
But if there was a mistake made, I would issue an apology.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty simple.
You're the one sitting in front of the microphone.
Yeah, and I'm the last standing sort of filter, if you will. So I bear the responsibility. Heavy hangs ahead. That's how the story goes.
Yes.
And especially if you're Adele, a lot of people are looking to you to be a model artist, I suppose.
Yes,
now, 2
and
years
more
ago,
responsible.
Yeah, higher expectation if you're this popular.
That's right.
Now, 2 years ago, Maroon 5 also faced a similar controversy when it used a rising sun flag pattern on the backdrop of its own website. It was quick to remove it after public backlash from Korean fans.
That's right. We might sound like a broken record. We cover similar stories like this, every now and then, but it really is important to raise awareness about the historical background of the rising sun flag. So instead of just expressing anger and criticism, it is really important to ensure that the historical context of the Rising Sun flag is widely understood. So something like this doesn't happen again. The appropriate actions taken by Adele, minus the apology and Maroon 5, is no doubt going to serve as important precedents.
You know what? I mean, maybe it's because we sounded like broken records that even the fans are very well aware, and even the fans are pushing for removal of the use of Rising Sun flag. So our efforts, as well as Professor Tagyangdok's, will continue until the last Rising Sun flag image is wiped from pop culture. All right, on to our final story today. Now, unfortunately, good things can happen through social media too, like raise awareness about things that shouldn't be used anymore. But also, misinformation can fast spread through social media as well. Now, Japan's advisory on a megaquake apparently fueled spread of misinformation on social media. What happened?
So there's a lot of misinformation spreading on social media regarding the advisory issued by Japan's meteorological agency. That was last Thursday, which said that the likelihood of a long anticipated earthquake, megaquake, it said, was higher than usual following last Thursday's strong quake off Miyazaki Prefecture. And then following that advisory, there were a bunch of posts on social media, particularly photos of strange looking clouds. So this one post with a photo of a huge cloud that was sort of like spreading horizontally in the sky appeared on social media last Friday. So the day after the advisory was issued, and the caption read, "Earthquake clouds," and things on social media basically took off from there.
I mean, it's eye-catching enough for it to spread, and the caption alone would get your attention. Earthquake clouds. I mean, it certainly turns heads. Now, the appearance of these so-called earthquake clouds is often said to be a sign of an imminent earthquake. I wonder, is there scientific evidence to this?
No. I just want to make that clear. I'm quoting experts, by the way. They say there are no scientific evidence to, certain types of clouds being related to a megaquake or an earthquake.
Yeah. Okay. It just looks like it could be, but there is no scientific evidence.
There's no scientific evidence. But since Japan's National Weather Agency issued the megaquake advisory, social media has been flooded with images of clouds with the hashtag using the Japanese phrase for earthquake clouds. Now, according to Google Trends, searches for the Japanese term for earthquake clouds have increased rapidly since last Thursday. Mie Prefecture saw the most from Thursday to Saturday, followed by Oita and Miyazaki prefectures. Now, other posts on X have included statements like, quote, "A massive earthquake is coming on August 10th," or "August 11th is the expected day for the Nankai earthquake." Another one read, "A Nankai earthquake will occur on August 14th. So people are actually predicting specific dates. And these are not experts either.
I'm just wondering, based on what?
I don't know. There are no grounds to this.
They have a hunch that's really specific. Okay,
exactly.
But that's not just a single example, is it?
And these types of posts have been viewed millions of times. Since they were posted.
Thursday and Friday. And the buildup was really big over the weekend. All right. So we have seen this before. Whenever an earthquake occurs, false information predicting another disaster with a specific date, time, location tends to go around.
Yeah.
But maybe we should wait until the official announcement, usually from a governmental ministry, someone who is in charge of this, experts. They are the ones that have probably the scientific evidence.
Exactly. So this has happened over and over again historically. So, for example, one example is after the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake, there were false claims that the Metropolitan Police Department had issued a notice, a warning against another massive earthquake the same day in the evening. And I could quote a bunch of examples, but this is one dating back to more than 100 years ago, and there was no social media at the time.
Isn't that fascinating? So they would put it up on a bulletin and it would spread.
Yes.
Through word of mouth.
And word of mouth.
Okay,
Yep.
now we have social media to make this process more dense and faster.
that's
and I mean, I guess sometimes it's used for good, but other times we need to fact check.
Yeah, we need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer, and fear mongering is just at its height.
Yeah, there were news recently that the shelves in Japanese supermarkets were cleared out because people are just mass buying because there's this like spread of fear about this, impending earthquake. Yeah.
Okay, fact checking is good.
Yes.
For all of us. It's not just us.
I advise it.
I do too. It's what we do for a living. Thank you so much, Erica.
Pleasure as always.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.